Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe.
Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac Wellerlane, and my next celebrity interview, Zoom interview, is with Joseph Ammendolea, and he is the producer, the director, and filmmaker of the new film, Brokenhearted, which will be premiering at the Long Island Film Expo. Let's take a look at this fascinating interview with the filmmaker. And it's all about the film Brokenhearted, premiering at the Long Island Film Expo. Welcome back, darlings. I'm TV host, entertainment journalist, Cognac Wellerlane, and I am here with filmmaker Joseph Ammendolea, and he is going to talk about his new film, Brokenhearted, which is premiering at the Long Island Film Expo, one of Long Island's most respected film festivals. Welcome to the show, darling. So,
hi, thanks for having me.
You are the director, the writer. Explain to my audience in full capacity how you are involved in this film.
So yeah, I'm the producer, the writer, the director, the film editor, the cinematographer. Pretty much I wore a lot of different hats on this production.
You wore a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Tell my audience about the synopsis of this film, Brokenhearted.
The way I described it, it's like American Graffiti meets The Notebook. So it's told through if you were to watch The Notebook, it would be really told through the James Marsden character point of view, the good boy, instead of the Ryan Gosling bad boy point of view. Mm-hmm. And then it's an all indie rock soundtrack thrown behind it and set in contemporary time.
Interesting. Now, what inspired you to make a movie like this?
Well, I was making comedies for film festivals, but those weren't being as well received. So somebody told me to try drama, and that's where we ended up.
So your passion really is the comedy.
Yeah, it's more my preference. But yeah. So when I wrote the first draft, I had some friends come over. I was like, "Hey guys, let's give this a read." It might just be the funniest thing I've ever written, because that's usually what happens when I try to write drama. It comes out funnier than my comedies. And
that could be. Sometimes it's a dark comedy, you know?
Yeah, right.
And that works. Sometimes that works.
Exactly. In this case, though...
Is it sort of like a dark comedy or no?
No. I mean, there's some joke elements in it, but mostly it's a fairly straight, serious drama. So when we did the read-through, my friends gave me notes. They're like, actually, this is really good. Just tweak some stuff. And so after a few rewrites, we went to casting and production, and here we are. Okay.
Now, this is a short or a featured film?
This is a feature. It's about 2 hours long.
Okay.
Yeah, it's premiering at the Long Island International Film Expo on October 7th. It's the last film. It's closing out the show. Okay. And then if anyone can't stream it online on that date, we also got into the New York Long Island Film Festival. And that's going to be October 23rd and 24th. And that's a live screen. You can go in person to see it there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So tell us about the cast. Tell us about the actors in the film.
Okay, so Chris Matthaus, he plays the lead character Brian. The character Brian's he's a doctorate student. He's a bit arrogant, and he needs to.
That's the character, not the actor.
That's the character. Now the actor Chris Matthaus, he's a male model. He's got, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. And when he auditioned, I remember seeing, I was like, this guy's this guy's going to be a little too good looking to pull this off. And he comes in and he actually turned out to be really nice and affable, and he was very talented. He's very good. He sells it very well. He carries the whole movie. Probably one of the nicest people we ever meet, always very chill and calm while we were on set. And he's there pretty much every day for the shooting, and just probably had the best attitude, kept everyone in good spirits.
So he's very professional.
Yeah, always knew his lines. He knew other people's lines. He could fill them in when they forgot.
I do that. I sometimes memorize people. I was in a play, because I'm an actress too. So I was in a play when I was in high school. I played Lady Ophelia. And John, you know the actor John Turturro, right? You know who he is.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, John Turturro. He was in that movie, Do the Right Thing. He's a filmmaker also. Okay. He didn't know his lines. He wrote everything on the palm of his hand, and I memorized his lines too. I knew his lines, I knew my lines, I knew everybody's lines, and it was so funny because he couldn't even remember his lines. He had to look, and then he was reading my lines. So, and then I said to myself, "Oh my God, he's reading my lines." And then I just kept going, and as the biggest trick when you're an actor is that you know the mistake, but nobody else does. So just I tell people that just keep going. And no one knew. Even the English teacher didn't know what was going on. So it was really funny. But now, of course, he's a big filmmaker. He's a big actor. And, and I'm stuck here doing interviews. But that's okay. But anyway.
Well, live theater's tough. Live theater is you have to be in the moment and you have to power through. The benefit of film is you can stop and you could redo it if it doesn't work out. So there's room to play around. Yeah.
You could play around with it. Now, did you choose this I should say Instagram personality model? Did you choose him because he had a lot of followers? Because they say that's selling movies.
No, I don't. I make my choices based on who can just do the best performance and who's available during the schedule. That's also kind of important.
Because a lot of people do that. They pick a certain person because it's based on that old Hollywood idea. If you get a has-been actor and, you put them in your movie, they have a fan base. Mm-hmm. So when people will go see the movie, like, look, that movie, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, that was based on that, because Joan Crawford and Betty Davis were at that time not working. They were like has-been actresses. And this guy came up with this idea, let's put those two in a movie together. I know it's going to make money because everybody loves Betty Davis and everybody loves Joan Crawford. And sure enough, that movie to this day is a cult because of that.
In my case, that is true. Those two hated each other working on that film.
Oh, yeah, they absolutely hated one another, but it didn't matter because it sold the movie even better. It was because she kicked the shit out of her in that movie.
I think, what was it? I want to say Joan Crawford, or maybe it was Betty Davis was the one that purposely put on weight, so when the other one had to carry her, it would be even harder for her. There were things like that.
Yeah, so you know a little bit about the background of that film, too. So that's funny. So do you like horror too? I mean, a lot of filmmakers, they're into making horror movies because they think that sells better.
Horror isn't really my genre. I could see the appeal of it though. I get why people are really into it. For me, I try to go for, again, more comedies, or in this case, I guess maybe I should dip into dramas more. Because I'm getting a lot more feedback from this one than I have in my prior films.
Well, being a filmmaker is a journey.
Yeah.
And you have to just keep going and see what works. No one can really predict. Even big Hollywood directors and screenwriters can't predict what a hit's going to be. No one really knows.
True. Maybe I should try horror. Maybe I should take a stab at it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, I would make, because you love you like making funny movies.
Yeah.
Why don't you make a scary horror movie? That would work. People love that.
Yes, some of the best horror movies are actually made by people who aren't horror film directors. Like Rosemary's Baby was Roman Polanski, and John Carpenter, he did horror movies, but he also did a lot of action movies too. So sometimes the guys who don't follow the archetype tend to give a new perspective on it.
So now you told me about 2 characters. Is the film only about 2 characters, or are there more actors in the movie? Tell us more about some of the other cast.
So the other character, Irene Jean Santos plays Michelle. Michelle was in a very toxic relationship. She just got out of it. She meets Brian. Brian keeps pursuing her, and Michelle's like, well, I just want some time to myself, but love happens anyway. And Irene plays that performance flawlessly, where she's really this conflicted person who here's this great guy, she really likes him, but she really does need time to figure herself out in her life and where she wants to go, and that plays out, I think, and that's where all the tension is between those two, and those are our main characters in the film. So there's a lot of
character actors in the film too.
Yeah, so the other 2 characters, some of the B plots are this guy Andrew and this girl Stacy, and they have a relationship going on the side where it's very casual, and they're hooking up, and it's played by Jason Weider, who does a lot of live theater acting, Shakespeare acting, things like that. Super talented. He was the star in one of my prior films called The Cosplayer, and then also Jennifer Covey, who actually won Best Supporting Actress for her role as Stacy in the Long Island International Film Expo, and their relationship plays out almost the complete opposite of Brian and Michelle's. Now, I did that on purpose to see just 2 different ways to look at how a romance should kind of work to a degree, where you shouldn't be maybe super aggressive, but don't play it too light either. And so you get to see those kind of unfold.
So this is a drama, but it sounds very romantic. It sounds like there's a lot of romance going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you a romantic kind of guy? No.
I'm not. But I tried to, I thought it was something that would be more universally relatable to people. Yeah. And then I also tried to put a more realistic spin on it. So the first half of the movie, you think this is a very ABC romantic movie. And then the second half.
Boy meets girl, boy gets girl, girl dumps boy, something like that.
Yeah, kind of that roller coaster.
Yeah. Is that why you called it? Why did you call it Brokenhearted? Tell us why you called it that.
Everybody's hearts are broken in that film at some point. So
my heart is broken.
Yeah. Honestly, actually, it was I made a music video for this song called Brokenhearted, which I didn't get the rights for to use in the film, but the name is trademark free, so I can use it. So I made this music video, and it got something like 80,000 hits on YouTube. It's one of my more popular.
Wow, 80,000 views?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, let me just kind of hash out this music video and extend on it. And that's kind of where it really stemmed from, the core of the story anyway. But again, the music video was just me experimenting with my filming techniques, back in college. So it's not, it wasn't for anything but just me and my friends having some fun.
Mm-hmm. Now, what determined in your life the journey that you've been going, to become a filmmaker? What made you want to be a filmmaker? What made you want to direct and produce and write? What did it for you? Tell us the story behind that.
Okay, so I write because no one's writing scripts and giving them to me to direct. And the same thing with producing. I produce and I write because I want to direct, and no one just gives you that, so you have to just kind of do it on your own. I ended up becoming the cinematographer on this film because the first day of shooting, my cinematographer had this family emergency, and he had to quit. I didn't have time to replace him. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing that too.
Yeah.
Editing, I just love editing. How I got into it as a whole, I took a class in high school. I went to Holy Cross High School in Flushing. When I was 17, I took this class senior year, back in 2000, 2001. So we're at our 20th anniversary of my production company, actually. And I I don't know. I was really good at that class. The teacher was like, just do whatever you want, just as long as you kind of follow whatever guidelines I give, like an instructional video, a music video, whatever. And so back in 2000, you didn't have all the technology that we have now. We had like tape-to-tape editing, linear editing was just kind of kicking off, at least on the level for students. It was just the early phases of that. So how we used to edit in high school was you upload the tape, you cut it together, and then you had to add the audio track through a separate machine. But I had figured out, using our editing system, how to add the audio track to the actual editing computer. And so I made a music video where the band was like actually lip syncing to the music, and nobody else had done that. Like, it was revolutionary. It's pretty basic all the way back to the 80s, but for a 17-year-old in a film class, that was hard to do. Or I would see kids, I'd see what they would do with their animation projects, and I go, this doesn't work, and then I'd tweak it and I'd make it so it works. So they kept like moving the camera around too much. I stopped doing that. I was very innovative within what my peers were doing, maybe not so much with what other people did beyond that. But I just always remembered enjoying that, and so it just kind of stuck with me. I've been doing it ever since.
Ever since you were 17 years old. My goodness. Now, you're not an actor. Are you an actor too?
I've done some acting. I don't consider myself an actor, but I feel like if you're going to direct people, you should take acting classes, study performance to better direct them. So I actually have a master's in performance studies from Hofstra University, which I think helps when it comes to directing actors.
Yeah, absolutely. So you really, I have to tell you that most people I interview are actors, and they make these movies because they can't get the part. So they figured, well, let me make my own movie and I'll put myself in it. You know what I mean? You've heard that, sure. You've heard that.
Yeah.
So
it makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I had a friend, it was so sad, this poor guy. He helped me launch my TV show. And this guy had a public access TV show, but he was an actor. And he started out as a school teacher, but his whole life, he always wanted to be an actor, always. But, that was his dream. And this poor guy, he's younger than me. And he helped me launch my TV show. And we were very good friends for a while. But, then, of course, we still remain friends. But he did his thing, I did my thing. He did a lot of background acting. He was in a lot of movies. They used to use him as doubles because he looked a lot like a certain actor.
Hey, it's a paycheck, yeah.
Yeah, and he was getting paid for it. The poor guy, but his dream, his goal was to be a major actor, a major movie star. The poor thing, he passed away. He was only 50 years old, this guy. It's so sad. He never got that dream. But he made a movie already. He made his own picture, but it really didn't do that well. It did get some recognition. It showed his work. It showed what he could do.
I would say getting a film done is an accomplishment in itself.
I know it is.
Anyone who's made a film understands that. I don't think anyone and people who haven't made films don't really get just all the effort that goes into just getting something complete, even a bad movie, just getting that completed is just thousands of hours of work, days and days, months and months of work. And that's on the cheap end. It usually takes years sometimes if you're really planning it out. So
I do my own editing. I edit everything myself too. I've interviewed I have my own television show. I do everything myself. I edit my own thing. But why is it so expensive? What makes it expensive to make these movies? Is it that you have to pay the editor, you have to pay the light guy,
I'm doing all that myself, so I guess I save money on that end.
Oh my God, you're saving a lot because you're doing it all yourself.
Yeah. I just the time is, and just the locations and feeding people and everything. It just, because even by yourself making a film, it adds up. You spend a little here, you spend a little there. So I think people can make really great films just on their iPhone. But
this is what I'm hearing. People are telling me I run around with my cell phone now and I make movies with the cell phone.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
But I feel like people who are more focused on, I guess, style than story won't really watch something like that. So they want something, with a 35 millimeter lens. They want something with big arcing crane shots and stuff like that. But I'd give something shot on a video camera a chance just as much as something filmed, for Marvel Studios. Because if you have a good story and you can hear what they're saying, you're fine. But all that extra little tweaks, that adds up. So then you do need a fancier camera. Then you do need, just all the little tricks that they do in Hollywood to kind of just make it seem more grand than it really is. And there's low level tricks to do that, where you need a dolly shot, you throw the person on a wheelchair, or now you don't need crane shots. They have drones. You can just get a drone and have that just fly overhead, and it looks like.
I interviewed somebody like this. He used a drone in his film. I saw it. It was amazing. He won for like best cinematography because the drone was going over the ocean and you could see the ocean. He filmed this in the Hamptons. It was the one, I'm telling you, I thought it was in the Caribbean. The water was so blue. I said, I never saw the water. I didn't think the water was that blue in Long Island, but it was so beautiful. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you now, again, when will it be airing at the Long Island Film Expo?
So October 7th, it's the 7:30 block, it'll air. So you can get tickets at Long Island International Film Expo. I don't know the website offhand, but if you just Google Long Island International Film Expo, it'll pop up. And if you missed the October 7th showing, you can see it in person at the New York Long Island Film Festival. I don't even remember the location on that because I just found they're just kind of releasing info as we go along. But that's actually a live in-person showing. But if you're a little more COVID sensitive, stream it online virtually next week.
I don't even believe in that anymore. So let me ask you something. Is there a trailer? Do you have a trailer? Because I like to use the trailer in this video to show my audience.
There is a trailer. I sent 3 different trailers to your intern.
Okay, great. Okay. Is it on YouTube?
They're all on YouTube. One is specific for the Long Island International Film Expo. The other 2 are just more generic trailers that I had made. So you can use whichever. Yeah.
Well, my darling, all I need from you now is where can we go to learn more information about you as a filmmaker? What is your website?
My website, www.Iliketoplaywithtoysproductions.com. So
fabulous. Well, I wish I was there to give you a big pink champagne kiss, but I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
I'll send it to you, and thank you so much for doing this wonderful interview,
anytime.
Joseph. I appreciate it so much. And as we say in show business, break a leg.
Right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is fun.
And we'll be back, darlings, with more interviews right here at the Long Island Film Expo. Keep watching. More Zoom interviews coming up. Pink champagne kisses.
Life goes on at the 23rd Annual Long Island International Film Expo, happening September 30th to October 8th, screening almost 200 independent films from around the world. Come to Samania Mall in Westbury, Friday, October 2nd and Saturday, October 3rd for our weekend drive-in films, or watch virtually all week long on the device of your choice. Receive full schedule and ticketing info, plus details on our closing night party with Catherine Narducci and Maurice Dubois at longislandfilm.com. And remember, things may happen, but life goes on.
All people have a need for beauty and intelligence to complete their lives.
Don't bore us with your old dead dude talk.
My area of focus is actually 19th century philosophy.
I met the love of my life.
Super casual, not a relationship kind of a guy.
I don't want to be this guy that has all these casual girlfriends anymore.
But that's what works so well for us. I don't want to feel so unsure of myself all the time.
She's just so different than anyone I've ever met before.
She's a total mind job.
In the friend zone,
Sometimes Ducky gets the girl.
Ducky never gets the girl.
I'm not looking to date anybody.
I got a trick that no one will see coming. How did it all end?
I made a mistake of telling one of his friends he was beating me.
I can't find a job here. She's playing you. She is playing you.
This isn't like you, dude, to get your head wrapped around a girl like this.
What are you doing here, Jack?
Well, congratulations. No, he just abandoned us.
At some point, I just stopped expecting to see him.
Your mother pushed me away.
But at least she stuck around and helped raise us.
Focus on the people who want to be in your life instead of the ones that don't.
Now it's not your problem, leave it to me. Gonna make more mistakes and then you'll see better than I'm feeling in my memory. Don't forget how hard this was before.
Well, I hope you enjoyed my interview with the filmmaker. I certainly did. And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's all about pink, girly items, halls and decor, fashions and home decor. And I also do celebrity interviews. So don't forget to subscribe, darlings. And I hope you enjoyed my show today with the filmmaker, Joseph Ammendolea, from Brokenhearted. Pink Champagne Kisses.
Hello, darlings. You've all heard of Marilyn Monroe. Some of you know Bridget Bardot. Well, now it's time for the Cognac show. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh. I said Cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm a bubbly blonde, fabulously dressed to impress. One of a kind girl. I was brought into this world wrapped up in pearls. I love to mingle, though my husband reminds me I'm not single. I meet and greet both the famous and the elite. I ride in limousines, drinking the finest champagne, wearing furs, dazzling diamond jewelry. A girl can't complain. I live the upscale life, dining in the finest restaurants, eating the best caviar for free. And no matter how much I enjoy cognac, ooh, ooh. I said cognac, ooh, ooh, ooh. It's been a Crybaby Productions, darlings.